Hi, I'm Jan, and on this channel, I want to give you a look behind the scenes at PlentyONE. As announced, I will regularly interview colleagues from different parts of the organization, not only C-level, but also key people from our product and tech teams. The idea is to talk openly about what we are building, why we are building it, and how this will make PlentyONE better for our customers. Let's get started with today's guest, Sarah Dioni. Sarah, great to have you here. To start, I'd like to talk a bit about you. So, who are you and what is your role at PlentyONE?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jan. Hi, everyone. So as you said, I'm Sarah. I'm a product manager in the channel area, and I've been at Plenty for about 2 years. Long enough, I would say, to know quite a lot about our products. I've been actually in product management for 7 years before and more on the B2C side. And when moving to Plenty, I switched to B2B, which was very interesting because then I had the chance to move from one side to the other and at least to bring some knowledge, although everything is different. But that's a little me in a nutshell, I would say.
What are you responsible for as a product manager?
Yeah, that is a question I get a lot, right? Like, what does a product manager do? And I think being a product manager is a very very useful. And I couldn't find a word in English, but so I come from Italy, and there is a word that I love to use in this case, which says it's multisfaccettato. And it means that you have a lot of sides. It's like, you imagine like a diamond, and then a diamond has a lot of sides. And this is how I like to describe the work of us product managers, because you need to know a little bit of everything. Some topics you need to know more, some topics you don't. So it's also a little like being a detective. So you have to answer questions. You don't have all the answers, but then you need to find the person who has this answer. So, in like the movie, sometimes you see those detectives putting things like pictures and then taking like a red thread and then connecting things. I think it's a little what we do. So I like to consider myself as a detective. And at Plenty specifically, I am taking care of, I call them the core data products, just to put them under one umbrella. And more specifically, import, export, and mapping tools. So think catalogs, think channel maps, and data manipulation. So functions, for example.
Wonderful. What a nice metaphor. Before we dive into today's main topic, I'd like to look at recent progress. What was your last, let's say, major success or milestone as a product manager at PlentyONE?
Well, it's very recent. So last week we went live with our new UI for the import tool. And very recent. It's basically reached our customers only on Wednesday, and we already got some feedback. So I'm very happy about that. And I think it's a very important milestone because and I always say we because it's not just me doing the work, right? It's like my team and it's like all the people that I work with. We were able to directly improve one of the most critical moments in the customer journey. Like import is one of the first steps of the onboarding. So I think we did pretty great, but the time will tell.
Hope so. Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive into that. So we have a new import UI. What exactly is the new import UI about and what problem does it aim to solve?
Yeah. I'm going to use one word here, which is guidance. And we did a lot of, I had the chance to talk to many customers before we went into deciding what to do. And also with some internal users, some colleagues that use the import actively. And one of the comments I got the most was that it's not clear where to start and where to go. So the main thing we did in the new UI is we're giving guidance. So we are We aimed for a UI that is clear, a page where the customer knows, okay, I can start in this part, I have a stepper, I can just move on to this spot. Wherever there is an information that might be a little too technical, we have information. So we have a tooltip or we have a link to the manual. We also reworked the wording a lot because many words were in both German and English a little too technical. So the concept itself was not hard, but it was just hard to understand. So we worked on many levels. And now we have a very guided flow that allows the user to understand, oh, okay, this is where I click first, this is where I go next. And there is like a smooth process, I would say. And of course, we are still giving a manual, we are still working with guided tours, but that's just a plus on top of a UI that already gives you the information that you need.
Sounds really important, especially if you're new with Plenty, but let's dive into that. So who is the primary target group for the new Import UI? Is it only built for new customers or all of our existing customers?
So potentially anyone can use it. So we built this UI to make sure that anybody can have access to it. So for new users, the idea was to really give them something that they can start with without fear, something clear, something where they land during their onboarding and they're like, okay, good, this is what I have to do. This is how I can import my data, because importing data is the first thing you do, right? If you don't have data, then you're not able to sell. And for existing users, they can still, of course, use the new UI, because what we did is that everything they created in the old UI, we made sure that is available already in the new one, and they can just start using it immediately.
Wonderful. And from a product perspective, what was the hardest trade-off you had to make while designing or building this UI?
I have to say we didn't have to make any. So we were very lucky in the sense that for sure we need to build on top of it, right? So there will be more features that will come. There will be more stability. There will be more coming on top of it. But we didn't have to give up anything. So we were able to keep what the old UI had done well. So the underlying structure. And then we made it better. We added some features on top of it. So we even were able to add a couple smaller features that initially we thought, okay, maybe we don't have time for this, but we made it. So I have to say maybe we were very good, but also we got a bit lucky that we didn't have to make any trade-offs in this case.
Wonderful. Then let's jump to, let's say, a common question we often get from customers. Is this new UI, the final version or just the beginning of more features to come?
It's just the beginning. So we call it the MVP one, although it's a little bit more than that. And I think I'm going to use another metaphor because at this point, I think, I like them. So I like to think of product development as building a house, right? So we used to have something. We used to have this old UI. We used to have I think like a house that was maybe a little old, maybe a little scary, maybe with like a gate and a door that were not functioning that well, so people were very scared. And we thought, okay, should we build more features? Not immediately, right? Because if the house is already scary, it would be like adding a balcony or maybe adding a floor. People will just not enter it anyways. So the idea was to, okay, let's restructure it. Let's make it nice. Let's fix maybe those walls that are not that well placed and put some nice plans. And this is what we did. So this is like done now. And then now it's inviting for people to come in. So we want people to be, this import is, okay, I'm going to start using it and then familiarize with it. And then we do already have some ideas and we're going to collect more feedback and we're going to build on top of it. So there will be definitely more coming. Maybe I can give you a little preview. So we are looking, for example, into an additional support in the mapping activity. So to give you even more guidance when you have your information from your file and then you have to select the right field in Plenty. We want to be able to tell you, okay, what about this field? What about maybe you want to map this to that? And then this is, something we're looking into. Another thing is having more flexibility when at the beginning you're selecting your import type. So we would like also to at some point tell you, you know what, just give us your file and we're going to take care of the rest. So that's another thing. And we are also focusing on multiple fronts, right? So we are looking into what could be good for those customers that need something very simple. And at the same time, we're also looking into something more elaborate and more complex, also with the support of AI for those customers who want to experience something more complex and can do that. So yeah, we do not have exact information to share right now, but there is a lot coming in the future.
Okay. Really, really good. Looking forward to the first results. Yeah, now it's time to wrap things up. What would you like customers to try or pay attention to when they first use your wonderful new import UI?
Don't rush. So I think still, even if it's easy, and I say it because I'm like this. I see something, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna click here and there, and it's gonna work. So still, there is like a nice guided tour that guides you through it. There is a manual, there is an instructional video. So there is like a lot of information you can use. So the information is there. Give it a try it, have fun. Maybe, I know it sounds maybe weird to say like have fun, but I think it can be fun importing data as well. So I think, yeah, everybody should give it a try and please send your feedback to us.
Okay, great. One last question from my end. If we do this right, what does great data onboarding or data import at PlentyONE look in, let's say, 1 year from now?
Okay. Yeah, I think what I would love to is to hear from customers they don't have fear of import anymore, and to hear them confident in their actions, right? Hear them confident in what they do when they import data and enjoying this first step of the onboarding. So basically enjoying this first part and then making them feel happy about moving on with it. So I want to be this like nice first part of the book that pushes them to move on and come to the end, basically.
Wonderful. Sarah, thank you for the insights and for the work you and your team are doing. To everyone watching, thanks for joining us. If you're interested in more behind the scenes product insights, videos, feel free to follow this channel. See you next time. Bye bye.